Hi, I'm Wendy Gregory and this is my YouTube channel, The Wendy House. I'm a counselling psychologist and survivor of narcissistic relationships, and I now specialise in treating other survivors and also in training therapists on this topic. Today, we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein and the 8 unmissable signs that Jeffrey was a narcissist. So firstly, charm and charisma. Narcissists are unfailingly charming and charismatic, which without doubt Jeffrey was. He had the added bonus of being good looking, which always helps. When someone is charismatic, others are drawn to them, and that then allows the narcissist to impress them with their false persona and credentials, leading to manipulation. Now, some narcissists are naturally this way. Some study other people very carefully and learn to cultivate this quality. I think Jeffrey was a natural. Next, a false persona. Now, all narcissists can create a false persona which is very convincing, and Jeffrey was no exception. In fact, he followed the classic route, initially lying about his credentials and qualifications in order to get his first job, rather worryingly, as a teacher. He did attend 2 colleges, but he left without a degree, subsequently making false claims on his CV. As Jeffrey became more wealthy, he cultivated ties with various charitable and scientific institutions, giving donations and then insisting that he was personally involved and kept up to date on some of their research and projects. He even widely claimed to be a philanthropist. And this too is very common. Many narcissists and indeed abusers appear to be pillars of the community. Thirdly, the sense of entitlement. Now, like all narcissists, Jeffrey had a sense of entitlement, believing that he should have whatever he wanted whenever he wanted it. And sadly, that included a sense of sexual entitlement. He believed that because he desired sex with underage girls and young women, he should have it, even if it meant taking it by force. Also, the first time he went to prison, he expected and got special treatment. A private wing, different food, and day release permits every day. So the next sign is refusal to accept responsibility. Narcissists don't accept responsibility for their actions. Because they're entitled, they don't actually believe that they've done any wrong. Jeffrey claimed to the end that he had done nothing wrong. He was so arrogant that he was adamant that actually he had been very hard done by the first time he went to prison, and that he shouldn't have had a custodial sentence at all. Along with this refusal comes a complete lack of empathy. Narcissists don't feel empathy, and as we know, Jeffrey felt no concern for his victims, even when they showed very clear signs of extreme distress. Some were even suicidal, but Jeffrey didn't care. The next sign is the belief that he was invincible. Jeffrey frequently boasted, especially to the girls that were groomed by him, "I will never be caught. I have too many powerful connections." And the first time he was arrested, this proved to be true. In the end, though, many a narcissist's downfall is that they are just too confident. And in his case, he underestimated the determination and tenacity of some of his victims and of some prosecutors who were totally determined to make him accountable for his actions. The next sign is manipulation. Jeffrey knew what people wanted to hear and said it to them. The girls that he targeted initially believed that he was a really nice man. They said he listened to them and he gave them the impression that he really cared. He was a kind man who just wanted to help them. This was followed by false promises. So, for example, if they were desperate to get an education, he would offer to pay for it. Needless to say, those false promises never materialized. Narcissists initially do a lot of listening to the people they target, and that's not because they care, but for 3 reasons. So firstly, they can find out what your vulnerability is, and then they can tell you what you need and want to hear. And you go away thinking, wow, that guy's amazing. He really gets me. Next is to work out what you might be worth to them. Now that could be in a financial sense, or it could be in terms of sexual favors, or even the inside knowledge you may have of a company that you work or have worked for. Thirdly is to glean any information about you that may come in handy in order to manipulate you. Now, this would have been especially the case in for Jeffrey because of his rich and powerful contacts. The more inside information he had on them, the more likely they were to help him out and the safer he felt. He could always rely on them to get him out of trouble. Rest assured, narcissists have zero interest in you as a person or your welfare. So the next sign was the need to be the centre of attention. Narcissists can't survive without attention. The worst thing you can possibly do to a narcissist is ignore them, and they'll do anything to get it. Jeffrey was very ostentatious and frequently threw lavish parties to which many rich, powerful and famous guests were invited. He also showed off his success by having a luxurious private island. Which leads us on to another classic narcissistic trait: courting and cultivating important, rich and powerful contacts. And there are two main reasons for doing this. Firstly, it made Jeffrey appear important. He was hobnobbing with presidents, royalty, film stars, and their glamour and shine rubbed off on him. Secondly, they were part of his backup plan. He believed that because he could dish dirt on them, they would always help him out. Sadly, it seems, to some extent they did. Might have been his downfall ultimately. So, my next video, I hope you've enjoyed today's. My next video will be looking at Jeffrey's long-term partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, and I'm going to be asking the questions, was Ghislaine the groomer or the groomed? If you've enjoyed this and found it's helpful, please subscribe, like, and share this on my YouTube channel, The Wendy House. You take care. Bye-bye.